working range, I'm gonna need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, we're just gonna stay towards the top of the caldera if we're gonna come at them.
I have you in the Griff.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We gotta get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill the f*** out, man. It's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Kommt Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Don't die. Guys, 15 seconds, don't die. Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow.
Okay, go for Charlie, see if you can get it there. To your left, there's there. Acceleration.
So, jetzt gleich hinter die Indie-Pocken,
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that. That was such a That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie, Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung, Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums, ein Light, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line. C4 Tactical Hill, boys. Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right. Charlie on the left, Charlie, Hellbringer on the left. Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out. Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot. Here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Deco. Tez on.
Go. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3. Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin. Well, you cross it then, get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just pushed up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this. Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the fucking arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Okay, go, B3, go. Echo, go.
Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family. To the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, we're just going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We gotta get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill the f*** out, man. It's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Kommt Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Don't die. Guys, 15 seconds, don't die. Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow.
Okay, go for Charlie, see if you can get it there. To your left, there's there. Acceleration.
So, jetzt gleich hinter die Indie-Pocken,
prepare to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Get the Griffin!
Oh yeah!
Sorry about that. That was such a Those were right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie. Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite ziehen, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Lauf unter ECM auf 2.
Hello. Welcome to MRBC Week 3 of Season 6. Steel Jaguar versus Seraphim Rising Storm. I am Bandit P17 from the Marine Mechs. I'll be your primary caster. And my co-caster is MDM00 from the Marine Mechs.
Hey guys.
Hopefully you guys have been catching our streams. We've been trying to put out good shows for you guys. This is our third one. So once again, if you have any feedback or anything like that, feel free to toss it our way. We're just trying to make this better for you guys. And I've already gotten some pretty good feedback, and I'm going to try and make some changes on this stream just to make things a little bit more interesting. We are going to do some giveaways today. So we're going to have a couple codes for premium time as well as a mech bay. Mech bay will most likely be at the end of the stream, so stick around. Once again, if you have not already done so, follow MRBC League, the Twitch channel, because I am not the only shoutcaster that uses this channel. We've got several people that support it, and they're constantly casting matches throughout the week. So feel free to give it a follow and follow along, watch some cool matches, and hopefully catch some good action. So. But today, we've got 2 powerhouses in the house here. Steel Jaguar versus Seraphim Rising Storm. Both are very, very good teams. Steel Jaguar is absolutely in the top 2 teams, I would say, of MechWarrior Online. And they've shown that consistently in multiple leagues. So they're all over the place. They're not shying away from competition, that's for sure. Seraphim Rising Storm, they've been around, they've been doing work, but I want to say that right now they're probably playing the best MechWarrior that I've seen them play in quite some time, at the very least.
Definitely.
So they are they are in Div A now, and they're definitely representing it well. So I think this is going to be a very exciting matchup. I have no idea which way this will go, because as with anything, there are upsets that can happen. I'm sure Steel Jaguar is most likely favored, and Rising Storm is most likely the underdog in this case. But
Could be very close. Now keep in mind, just looking at MRBC so far, this is week 3. These teams are literally separated by 1 match in MRBC Division A right now, where Steel Jaguar is sitting at 8 wins, 2 losses. Seraphim Rising Storm is in 3rd, just behind them at 8 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. Now, the trick here in MRBC is that this season, mechs destroyed makes a big difference, and that's really what's dividing these 2 teams at this point. With Steel Jaguar has 75 mechs destroyed, Seraphim Rising Storm in 3rd has 68 mechs destroyed. So that draw actually cost them at this point so far the opportunity for second place, but this match tonight would go a very long way to determining who's going to move up or move down in Div A, so this should be pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I absolutely think that both of these teams are chomping at the bit here to show what they have and really make a statement. I don't think anybody's taking either team lightly, and we should see some really good MechWarrior today. So I'm excited about this one. I can't wait to see what we can get here. It looks to me like they are forming lobby, so I'm going to quick jump through the 2 teams while we got a chance. SJR, once again, I would say definitely top 2 teams at the very least.
Yeah.
But they're definitely, they're going to make a showing here. I would say that these guys are favored in this case. And they have a pretty tight roster. I see a lot of these guys around. This is the type of team that when you see them in a public queue match, you kind of think, you have an invite, by the way, MD. You kind of think, oh man, here they are again, But at the same time, I consider these guys very respectful and almost fun to play against, even when you get your ass kicked. So I really don't have I don't have a beef with this team. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching what they can do, and we'll see if they can kind of hold on to their title and take what they feel is their rightful place in first place. And
now
then,
keep that in mind that SRS is I think really one of the most up and coming teams into the top echelon of MechWarrior competitive play. I mean, these guys have been slowly working their way up from, like you said earlier, a very good team to really. I mean, they're right on their tails, and we'll see what happens tonight. But this is a big opportunity for them to make some real statements about where they belong in the top teams. Yeah,
and I'm excited. From what I've seen so far this season, and in NBT as well, these guys have been playing really well, really tight, and it's such a small roster that it's almost the same guys every time, and it kind of freaks you out that they can play that well, and they're not burning out at all. They don't need fresh legs. They're just handling business and stuff. So they're coming into MRBC, and even their first match was pretty powerful. I wish I could have seen a week 2 match from them. I believe that was a withdrawn team, so we didn't get to see what they had to offer last week. I'm sure it probably would have been good though. And so this, after essentially a bye week, are they going to continue that momentum and take that into this match and maybe pull out an upset here?
Yeah, I think looking here at the schedule, we had SRS with week 1 in Div A play went 3-1-1 versus Antari Scorpions, and then, like you said, essentially had a bye week, unfortunately, with a forfeit team. And then SJR came out week 1 and took 5-0 against 228 Swamp Foxes, one of 228 teams in
I think
Division
that was
A.
the withdrawn. Yep,
that was the withdrawn team, but they did actually play that match. So
did
SJR
they?
does have 2 sets of actual plays, and then last week with a 3-2 decision against Marine Mechs, which, like I said, is enough to keep them in second place. But SRS, again, with that one draw, losing kind of the opportunity to get those kills at that point, they could very easily be sitting in second place, and we'd be talking about SRS being, holding on to their advantage in the division. So again, these are 2 teams that are very, very close. This should be a great match.
So drop 1, we're going to be dropping on Caustic Valley, and if you guys aren't familiar with MRBC, there are 5 distinct sets of rules for each map that's played. The first drop is the reconnaissance drop, so you'll see 4 lights and 4 mediums, no heavies and no assaults. There is maximum of 2 inner sphere chassis each, so you could have 2 fire starters, 2 Jenners, 2 Shadow Cats, whatever. Or not Shadow Cats, Shadow Hawks. There's a maximum of 3 clan mechs, and none of those can be duplicates, so you're probably going to see an Arctic Cheetah, you're probably going to see potentially a Nova, you're probably definitely going to see a Stormcrow, but who knows, anything can happen. And 2 ECM mechs are required. Doesn't matter which chassis it's on, but the Arctic Cheetah would then take one of those slots, and maybe a Cicada or maybe a Raven 3L or something like that, but maybe a Griffin 2N. Really depends on how these guys want to play this map and how they're gonna to go about this. So this should be a very interesting fight. Caustic Valley, it's the newer map. Not as many people have experience on this map. I'm not too familiar with all the obstacles that I can get stuck on. It's always something new every time I play, but it looks to me like we are going to get started here. We're heading into the lobby, or into the match. So let's go switch over.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have not seen yet a competitive match played on Caustic Valley. Obviously, we've all done group queue, solo queue for matches, but I haven't seen the competitive match. And like I said, these are two really good teams. I'm interested to see what they try and do here.
And once again, I have not changed the code to get the MRBC logo out of the way of... in fact, you know what? Let me just quick do something here. I'm just going to... well, I have just a couple seconds here.
Whenever you do that, I'm going to take a look here at some of the loadouts. Taking a peek right now at SRS here. They've got a Raven 2X, your 2 large laser, 2 medium build, pretty standard. A medium pulse fire starter. Looking at Arctic Cheetah, again, small pulse build, pretty standard there. Now we got Wolverine 6K, that's the large laser build. Another 6K, Stormcrow, large pulse laser. Looks like they're going for ranged mediums and some kind of medium to short range lights. We've already got an engagement here in Delta 3. SJR is coming hard around the corner. Delta 3 around the side of the Caldera. Let's take a look at what mechs they're running here. Got, again, some
now
SJR
range. Is blue, right? SJR is blue, and red is Seraphim Rising Storm, correct?
That's what
Looks like that is the case, yep.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take a look at Vorpal Sword here. He's the closest one to the action. See what he sees.
You know what? I was calling SRS mechs, but those were actually Steel Jaguar mechs, so forgive me. The mechs that I called out in the beginning were Steel Jaguar.
So Vorpal is playing up in the Caldera. He has seismic. He has a UAV above his head. He might have just seen that blip, so I think he's going to pull out as quickly as possible because they can see him roaming in that location even with the ECM. And smartly attempting, and does in fact take the UAV down. So that's one UAV down that they don't have to worry about, but stationed up, looking to see if he can see anything moving around the corner. I'm going to go ahead and hop out and see where are these mechs currently. Where are they headed?
SJR is hanging out kind of in the back side of...
And it looks like they are playing a range deck here. Yeah.
They are definitely a range deck, and...
let's take a look at T-Fun.
Right now, okay, it looks like SRS is making a decision here. They are moving out of the Caldera towards what used to be the pass on the one side of the Caldera. I don't even know how to call this anymore with the new map, but they're coming through the pass towards the water. And if you remember what originally Caustic was like,
definitely some foggy visibility issues here. They were coming over the saddle, and some of these guys aren't able to see what's going on, so they're operating purely on calls.
Looks like SR really hasn't changed their position yet, although it looks like maybe they're shifting a little bit to their right, kind of counter that movement. SRS has a little bit of terrain. They might can close the gap if they choose to do so. SJR kind of has to deal with this hill that they're kind of in the middle of. They've got mechs on either side of that. Need to be careful that SRS doesn't make any moves on them, but it looks like they're pretty content to sit back and wait right now.
Arctic Cheetah popping up over the top there from SJR, getting a little bit of peck damage from Vorpal, actually dealing 9% damage, just pushing him off that hill so he can't get a good look at what is over the hill here, with Seraphim Rising Storm operating behind saddle. Some SJR mechs are moving off to the left side to try and get an angle, but you know, it's just poke damage at this point, not really a lot being done.
Yeah.
But, you know, every little bit counts, and it looks like we might have somebody moving up to try and get an angle on a couple of these SJR mechs around the corner here with the Spider.
We got a little bit of an engagement here. Some light mechs on the far corner of the map here. See if you're getting a good angle on that, Bandit.
Yes, I am. There's 3 SJR mechs to 1 Seraphim mech, a Rising Storm mech.
Yeah, and that Spider is actually a little bit isolated from his teammates. If SJR is aware of this, they might be able to hop on him and get some damage
He
out.
does have the Arctic Cheetah coming to join him and try and get a little bit more poke damage on the other Cheetah. But just very careful peeks right now, just minor trades, just trying to get something done. But you know what? Both teams seem to be generally, I would say, almost the same deck. Just in terms of, you know, the Wolverine 6Ks, they both have reach. They're really going for just the good trades here. And a Firestarter coming over the top, taking a little bit of hits from the Spider. I bet you the Spider has Let's go in and take a look. He probably has seismic, so he can see when they're coming up over and getting early peaks.
Now this is interesting, actually. SRS has a streak Stormcrow that's hanging back. At this point, I almost wonder if he wants to move up a little bit. Although it looks like SJR is committing some heavier mechs to that hill for a closer engagement. It doesn't look like they're willing to take a draw here. They want to get in on it, and they are going after that Stormcrow. They see him.
Yep.
And he just took 10% damage. He hasn't gotten a shot off.
It's all completely spread, though. If you're talking about Wonka, he is
oh, here they
spread
go.
it very
Here
well.
comes SRS coming around the corner. Blackjack's coming around the corner. Firestarter. There's that Stormcrow moving in.
And it looks to me like Seraphim might be moving up pretty aggressively up on the left side here.
They are moving up pretty aggressively, and SJR seems to be pulling back. They really don't want to tangle with that Stormcrow, and can't blame them.
We're about to get some of the early hits here from the Streak Stormcrow, popping some shots onto Delta.
Just take a big hit. He's down to 64%.
Raven
already.
just took a massive one to the chest too. It's very tough to contend with those streaks.
He's doing all right, this Raven. He's got a little bit of spread damage, but all
Center
in all,
torso is open on the Stormcrow. They're going on him hard. They want to take him out of the fight. And he is about to duel with the mediums and take tons of damage. He's going to be going down shortly here. He's trying to back up and get away so he can at least, very least, get an extra shot off.
He's at 28% right now, and the SJR with the first loss, they've lost to 6K already. That's going to hurt them, especially if it's the medium.
And there goes the Stormcrow. It is tied up.
Stormcrow is down. It is tied up. We've got some really beat-up mechs. We've got a Firestarter at 40% for SJR. SJR is taking a lot of damage right now, but they've got... it looks like they've got SRS a little spread out,
and
actually.
It looks like Rising Storm's trying to take out Echo, which is the Stormcrow here. They're pounding him in the center torso as hard as possible.
Rising Storm, SJR is taking the lead 2-1 here.
They
3-1 now.
Tied up 3-3. The Stormcrow just went down. So they're doing this is a very close match here. They're just doing whatever they can to just keep up and take things down. They're both legs are open on the Firestarter piloted by Quicksilver. They're working him down, and they have legged him. He is going to go down, and he goes down.
So SRS takes the lead. It looks like SJR is trying to work on this Blackjack, but he's not going down that quickly right now. He's doing a good job of staying alive, and that's hurting them at this point.
And I think the Wolverine is sticked too, so that actually means that there's an additional mech out of the fight here. Things seem to be going fairly well for Rising Storm right now.
Yes, SJR is down to just 3 mechs. Let's take a look at that Wolverine. He has one guy left.
Sticked.
He has one medium laser, but that's just not going to get it done at this point, and he is down.
Yep, and the last one is the Shadowcat. So this one is going to go in favor of Seraphim Rising Storm with an 8-3 decision in the light-medium brawl on Caustic Valley. That was a very intense fight, but when it was time to go, Rising Storm went, and they took it hard into SJR. I think their Street Crow was the first one to go down on their team, but he was able to get quite a few shots in, I would say. Pulling 147 damage for being the first target down. That's not that bad, but really the damage looks good from both teams across the board. Taking down that Wolverine's arm was very pivotal. They can do it relatively quickly, and they don't have to worry about him for the rest of the fight. He's stuck walking around with a single head laser if that's the build he was running, and it's just not enough to get the job done when the rest of your team's taking massive hits from all of their mechs. So
I think that first engagement by SRS really put them up on the damage, and at that point, even though the kills were kind of back and forth when they really got into it there, I think the whole time SRS just had a little bit of an edge on the damage, and we all know how these brawls go when you're in the middle of it. Just a little bit suddenly steamrolls out of control, and it becomes a much bigger advantage. So that's an 8-3 decision. Was that the final score?
So that they did a little bit of poking. They were just trying to find the angle and find the time to go in, and they decided they were going to move up on that left side. The Street Crow actually kind of went between them down in the pit there, and was able to get their shots in. And that went very well for them.
Yeah, and
they almost cut SJR in half, and they weren't able to bring it back and properly focus.
Yep. Yeah, I think SJR might have gotten a little bit impatient. I think they might have lost some contact of what SRS was doing behind that saddle and moved up in a very close position. And I think, again, that Streak Stormcrow living for that long, I know 147 damage doesn't seem like much, but I mean, when you're the focus target, the first target down, 147 is a lot of damage to be doing, especially when it's Streak, when it's hitting lights and you're doing a lot of those damage in one shot. It really, I think that initial movement, I think SJR, probably if they had that back, wishes they were a little more passive, a little farther back. And SRS took advantage of it, and that gave them the victory.
Yep, and that was fun. That was a very good match here. I'm trying to get my.
Should we give away a premium time here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and give a premium time. I'm going to put in the chat that we are starting a raffle. Hopefully, I'll time it right, so you're hearing this now and seeing it about the same time. Maybe I'll put it in the chat a little bit earlier. This is going to be for a one-day premium time code, so type in !raffle to enter the raffle, and you can win that code. So let me fix this, because this looks terrible. Select region. There. Okay. So, what we're seeing here... This is where I was spectating the Streak Stormcrow, and he moved up right between, and there was enemies on both sides, but he just popped in, one little bit here, one little bit there, but all of those mechs that he hit really took that stuff to the face, and it doesn't feel very good when you get hit by those. That Raven took a really good hit to the CT. The Cheetah took kind of a glancing hit, but it does damage, and... but the point is, though, is he's staying alive, and while they're kind of dueling with him, I believe the first mech to go down was from SJR.
Yeah. So they took down a Wolverine in exchange for that Stormcrow, and they got the Wolverine down first and got a few seconds of a one mech advantage there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's that whole time where there's the Raven, the Arctic Cheetah, the Wolverine that comes up over the top. Those mechs aren't focusing on a single mech for Rising Storm, and that's really why I think they were able to take out a medium mech quicker. And then the next one to go down, I believe, is the SJR Stormcrow, who they were able to just pop center torso. And
you know what? They got that arm off the Wolverine. I'm watching the stream again. They got that arm off the Wolverine fairly quickly thereafter. And that
switched off of him, too. They didn't go for the kill.
Very good discipline there to ignore him, to leave this one mech up with just one medium laser and go after some of the more deadly ones.
Yep. And then after that, it just comes down to focus. How quickly they can leg these lights, how quickly they can stick other targets. It's just bringing them down as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that was some impressive, like I said, impressive discipline, I think. If SJR goes back and looks at this, they might be willing or concede that maybe being a little more passive at the beginning there, using their range a little longer, might have helped them out there. I think the difference maker there really was that Streak Stormcrow. They were able to get to a range where that Stormcrow was effective. Otherwise, if they had stayed at range the whole time, that Stormcrow is just a waste of 55 tons.
And I do apologize. I'm watching the instant replay now, and that is pretty laggy. So I think Caustic is pretty rough on my PC. I'm going to hopefully be looking at maybe upgrading sometime soon here. I was getting CPU, too much CPU notifications, and I could tell that that's when the stutters happen. So sorry that was a little rough to watch, and obviously the instant replay is not any better since it is coming from my stream. So once again, sorry. I'm doing my best, and hopefully I can get some better hardware in here to make up for that. But all right, let's actually get that drawing open. And MD, if you could start talking about the next drop, which is Viridian Bog, drop 2, which is 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 duplicate inner sphere chassis allowed, and once again the max 3 clan, and still no strikes.
Well, this ought to be pretty interesting as well. I think, again, when you look at the current meta, you're looking at a range deck across the board. I think Viridian probably supports a range deck a little more than a brawl deck, if for nothing else, just because of how easily it is to trip up on things, to get stuck on things. That kind of quick movement, staying together that you want in a brawl deck can be hard to do when you have like a a larger mech getting stuck. Now, obviously, we're still doing a mostly light drop here, or a lighter side of the drop. Obviously, not mostly lights, but a lighter drop in general. But at the same time, I think the movement can be harder to do, especially in an engagement. So I think you'll see a ranged mech. It'll be curious to see whether any of the teams decide to do this traditional go up on one hill, go up on the other hill, shoot across, or try and rotate around the hill, or whether we see some things like maybe someone taking the water, trying to use the kind of lack of visibility where those lily pads are by the water, and maybe sneak around, come up the stairs behind someone. It should be an interesting game in terms of strategy. I mean, again, another map where I can't say that there's too much of a prediction of what we'll see, but probably ranged.
And when you've got 15 minutes, you can wait it out to see what the other team's bringing, what you can do, what angles you can get. I mean, even on the light brawl, they didn't just go right into it. There was little skirmishes on the border. They kind of shifted around to get a better angle, and just tried to find the best way to get in there without taking too much damage. And we're probably going to see that again here. I don't think they're just going to blindly rush in and just do a massive brawl. I think they're going to take their time. They're going to try and deal some trade damage while preserving their own health, and then when the time is right, you're going to see them go in and finish it out. So that's how a lot of these matches do end up. But sometimes they'll surprise you. Sometimes they'll stay hard ranged and just trade it out until death, or they'll maybe they will go hard brawl. Maybe that's something that's not expected. So we'll have to see, because it's at this point it's kind of a mind game. The deck you bring, the strategy you run. When these teams are this close to each other, you've both teams are very good at the fundamentals of how to pilot a mech. At this point, it's who can better command, who can pick a better deck, and who can outsmart their opponent. And some of it's a little bit of a dice roll as to what will they bring. I don't know. You can kind of guess. You can kind of look at some of their previous videos, what they've done. But at the same time, they know, and we could get into a freaking Princess Bride situation here with the poison, You thought that I thought that you thought, So that's pretty crazy stuff. So
yeah, and I think you can look back at that last match. Obviously, SRS was clearly very willing to be disciplined in their movement. They might do the same sort of thing, wait and see what happens. But the fact that they brought that streak Stormcrow with teams that are this close, that really might have been the biggest decision maker. So, maybe the differences are in the deck again. We'll have to see what happens, what they drop in. But that's a very good point about when you have teams this close. Sometimes it's that one mech, that one decision, one place that you go, the 1 minute you wait too long, or you don't wait long enough, really makes a difference. So that makes these matches kind of added level of intrigue, right? It's not just a match about who's got the better pilots. I think we can all agree that these are all some very good pilots. Yeah. So it adds that extra strategy for everyone's favorite thinking player's game, right?
Yep, absolutely. So, looks like they're getting their lobby set up, so we'll be jumping in here pretty soon. I'm just finishing up the raffle right now.
Yeah, don't forget, guys, fill out the raffle if you haven't already. 1 day free premium time code.
Going to end it in a couple seconds here, although it's 5 minutes from now for the rest of you guys. But so yeah, Rising Storm is up 1-0. I think Steel Jag is going to come at this one hard to even it up.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing. Do they stay the course after going down one game, or do you try and switch things up early on, recapture the momentum? Mm-hmm. We've already shoutcasted a couple games that have been back and forth. We've shoutcasted some games where it seems like one team's had the momentum the whole time, and that's another thing to kind of remember is sometimes you get in that groove, right? As a pilot, you're making shots that you don't usually make just because you're in the zone. Sometimes if you lose a game, you kind of get knocked out of that groove. You might not make the right decisions. You might push a little too hard trying to get that back. So momentum could be an important thing here. Let's see if SJR kind of sticks with their game plan or tries up something new.
Yep. Congratulations, Neltab. 5 minutes ago, you won. I'm sending you the code in your Twitch message now. Congratulations. And thank you, Moobot, for handling the system here. Rigged. I guess you could say that. Nah, this system's pretty cool. I click the open button, I let people type it in, and then I click the draw button, and then I click announce. So it's pretty nice, and it's got good event logging to show that I only drew it once, and it came out as Neltab. So that's pretty cool. Go ahead and
seeing a couple people with some comments in chat about the stream. If you refresh the stream, guys, it should be working. I've got it up here. It seems to be working fine. So
and what some of you guys might have been seeing if you came in late, I show an instant replay of what we just saw, and we just explain, here's where it went down and things like that. So if you're seeing it with our pictures and you're seeing the action in a smaller box, that's not live. That's coming from 5 minutes previous. I'm using YouTube's DVR function to stream that replay in, and we can rewind it as needed. We are definitely going to post this on YouTube so people can watch it later. I do post it up on Reddit and stuff like that, and you can go back and watch some of our other ones too. So it'll be. I've been enjoying them so far. We've had a couple close matches, a couple one-sided matches. I'm trying to make sure that I pick matches that are fun to watch, and I think this is definitely going to be one of those. So hopefully everything goes glitch-free, and on some of these maps, hopefully my CPU doesn't explode. So it looks like we are getting started, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over. So Viridian Bog, not a lot of people like this map. I think
not a lot.
8v8, no. It's a little bit better than a 12v12 like Pug Drop or something like that. You have a little bit more room to work with when you don't have as many people. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these builds. Now, somebody said that I can mouse over something and click enter.
Oh, it didn't work for me.
Not working for me. I'm hitting enter like crazy. So they said just mouse over and then...
That's okay. I'm taking a look now at SJR. We've got Timberwolf Gauss medium lasers, medium pulse fire starters, Hellbringer standard loadout here, Arctic Cheetah standard loadout, a ER large laser Shadowhawk. That's not something you see every day in a competitive match. Another Shadowhawk, but this is just a standard large laser, so not the ERs. Interesting. Definitely looks like a range build here, and then a Blackjack 1X with the medium laser build. So kind of a medium range. You've got some Clan ER mediums, some IS mediums, and a couple Shadowhawks for your very long range.
So it looks like we have a little bit of fire from the SGR lights that made it up on top of the shelf here. So they kind of took away that scouting position from Rising Storm. They made it here quicker. They got up there with their jump jets, but they are moving a couple of their medium blackjacks up there to see if they can pop a few shots into those light mechs. But the light mechs are smartly staying back and making it so in order to get those shots in, they're going to have to expose themselves to the rest of the team. And here comes a Cheetah to come take a look, and we might have a little bit of initial fire here.
We got a little bit of trading from some of the SJR mechs in the background here. They see...
now they know it's a range deck. Yep. Arctic Cheetah just take a bunch of large lasers to the face, and I think the plan has now changed. So they know what's going on. They know what SJR is doing, and this is where the powwow happens. It's time to think about it. How do we want to approach this?
Now, SRS is also in a range deck. They're basically running two identical or close to identical decks here, so it'll be interesting to see what they'll do right now. I mean, SJR definitely has a firing line set up. Clearly SRS doesn't want to peek too much. Taking a little bit of fire there with a peeking by a right-handed mech peeked on the left side. He took a lot of fire and wasn't able to return it there. But a lot of this going on. It looks like they're, for the most part, just kind of scratching the paint, making sure everyone's still awake out there.
Mm-hmm. A lot of jump peeking at pretty extreme ranges with medium pulses and things like that. But, it's damage that you can't heal. You know, it's damage is there, and it
Now,
could,
here's the
could
sight
cost you
I
later.
haven't seen. We got Quicksilver on top of one of the trees in Viridian Bogs. I don't know if you can see that, Bandit. One of the SJR pilots. He's managed to figure out a way to jump jet on top of a tree. This is actually kind of cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Which pilot?
Quicksilver, he actually just fell down. He was standing on top of one of the trees in front of the shelf where they've got that
Yes,
shotgun
okay.
set up.